to make this pizza, we will be needing 1 1/4 cups of water, a teaspoon of yeast, dry yeast, and half a teaspoon of sugar. So into your water, you want to add your yeast. Then you want to add the sugar.
And you want to make sure you have equal portions of everything, so that everything's balanced.
So then you want to grab a fork and stir it. And then set it aside for a while until you start to make your dough. For this next part, we're going to be sifting in 3 1/2 cups of flour. And sifting is important because you don't want any lumps. I mean, with pizza, it's okay, but I like to sift it in anyway. You're going to put in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So now what you want to do, you want to stir the mixture until the olive oil gets incorporated nicely. Because we're going to add in a little more liquid. So if your yeast mixture isn't nice and frothy yet, you can let it sit for a while longer. But mine is going to quickly just stir it up. Pour it in. Okay. Now that we've poured that in, you want to mix it up a little more. Once you get to this kind of like weird pasty, take the dough out of the spatula, set that aside, and make sure your hands are clean, and start to knead. And by knead, I mean mix with your hands. You might want to spread a little flour on your hands before you do this so it doesn't stick. Once you have mixed it up, you have to put it onto your surface and then start kneading again. To prevent sticking, you can actually put cooking spray on your hands. You can also take a little bit of flour and put that on your hands too. Okay, so that should prevent sticking. Now what you want to do, you want to knead it. Like really knead it. Take it, fold it on top of it, and make sure you incorporate all the flour. If there is no flour from your dough ball, you want to spread some flour onto the surface and keep kneading. See you after it's done. Continue to knead the dough, and then if the flour on the surface runs out, keep putting more so stickage doesn't happen. Just do that. Take one end, put it on top of the other, and use the bottom of your hand to push. Keep doing that. And do this for about a good 10 minutes actually. You can also put this into a KNEAD, which I will not be doing today, because it feels more homemade when you do it with your hands. And also, it's very fun, so. As you can see, I'm starting to get a little bit more stick on my hands. So just a little more flour should do it. Okay, now that you've kneaded your dough, just give it a few more kneads actually. Now you want the like perfect top that you see in most pizza videos. So what you want to do, you want to just take the corners of the dough and put it like into the center like that. Then like use your hands to kind of go like that and create a circle. You can plop it down into the surface, make it, and you can keep kneading if you feel that there's the need to. The more you knead, the better. You want to make sure that it's slightly resistant, but not too resistant. So if I poke it, it should bounce right back, just like it did right there. Now that you've got this wonderful, beautiful circle-ish dough, you want to grab a bowl, a clean one, put some olive oil in it, just so the dough doesn't stick to it, and spread the olive oil around it, again with clean hands, to ensure sticking doesn't happen. Then just grab your dough, plop them in there, grab some more olive oil, and cover the dough itself with oil so that when it rises it doesn't cling to the cling wrap. You want to wash your hands actually. And okay, you've got your dough sitting in here. You want to take your saran wrap, grab a roll of it, and do it just like that. Tear it off the end. And cover up your bowl. For an hour, but preferably 24 hours. Or overnight, that works too. Let the dough sit and rise. I've only done it for just less than an hour, so it hasn't rised that much, but it has certainly spread it out. So now it should feel very doughy, and the yeast should have like really activated, and it pokes back still. So you want to knead it just a little bit more. Get back that nice doughy feeling instead of the feeling that it is right now. Knead it again into that ball that we had earlier. Pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Just keep pulling in from the outside to in. Use your pinkies and flip. Got that now. So now you want to take a knife and cut it into however many portions you want. This is enough to make 2 pizzas, so I'm going to cut it right down the middle in 2. As you can probably see from the cutting here that it's pretty hard to cut through, very doughy. So the inside looks like this. It's got some air bubbles, nice and yeasty. And now we want to let these sit for a little bit longer. Okay, so we've got 2 nice pizza things that have been resting here for a while. Again, it's nice, light, and airy if you flip it over. So now we want to put these onto our trays. You can use the back of it if you want a nice flat surface, but you can also use the front if you want like that crust there. I'm going to be using the back. So what you want to do, you can spread the pizza in 2 ways. You can let gravity do the work for you by just like letting it hang over and kind of do that. But the way I recommend it is put it onto this, make it into a nice thing, and just keep spreading it. So now we are putting on the sauce to the pizza. You can make your own sauce or you can get store-bought. Okay, so we have finished putting on the sauce. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put on the cheese, or if you like, you can put the vegetables on first. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the cheese that you saw me cut earlier, break it up a little bit as I go. And I'm also gonna get shredded, like pre-shredded cheese from the bag, from like Jewel or Costco even. And just keep spreading cheese. Okay, so now we can put on the vegetables, and you can put as much cheese as you like. I like a lot of cheese. I'm gonna leave it like that. We will be putting some spinach, which always looks good. And break it up a little bit. And because the spinach doesn't exactly cling on, we're gonna put a little more cheese just on the parts that have spinach. We're also going to be putting a little bit of tomato. And more cheese. And now you can put this in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes, or until it gets nice and pizza-y and the dough starts to rise a bit, at 350 or 375. It actually doesn't really matter. So we have put the pizza into the oven for actually 17 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's looking great, actually. Great part about these pizzas, you can do it just anything you want. And if you've got many members, you can divide the rest. Well, you don't divide it if you've got many. You can multiply the recipe, and you can also make one pizza into 2 flavors like we did here. Okay, here we have our wonderful pizza. If you like, you can top it with some sriracha. Pop open a Pepsi. And maybe even some ketchup. And the classic Parmesan.